Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Legs, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider supporting me or supporting the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It helps to get the videos out there and it inspires me to keep creating. In addition to that, I do have a $1 channel membership. The join button is right here if you want to go that extra mile to support the content. Last but not least, not to be like Ace, rapping down boundaries to Amaya every single time we talk, but y'all, please do not put spoilers in the comment section for the next episode. I understand that the videos come out very close together because Love Island is a daily show, and getting these videos up and out to you guys, it's literally round the clock stuff. So I do understand that some of the videos come out quite close to when the new episodes come out. But as I may not have seen the episode at the time you guys commented, there are also other people who watch the videos and watch the show at their own pace. Not every single person can watch the show at 8:30 p.m. on the dot, okay? So please refrain from putting spoilers. Unfortunately, there were a couple of you who just straight up had to be blocked, and I'm sorry, but obviously if you are blocked from the comments, you probably don't see this video either. But yeah, so please make sure that you are not putting spoilers. So Ace and Nick are discussing the fight that Ace and Amaya had. Everyone in the villa could hear them yelling from afar. It was a lot. For Nick, he says, not Nick, for Ace, he's like, look, I'm gonna be honest. I want somebody where I can start with a friendship and then build from there. So for me, it really wasn't giving that she had that reaction whenever I said what I said about boundaries. For Ace, at this point, he does realize he is not going to be pursuing Amaya. He told her, though, that he just wanted to be friends at the moment because he was very concerned about Amaya's reaction if he actually said, hey, I straight up do not want to pursue you. I will say this. Ace was being unnecessarily mean to Amaya off rip and off of nothing, in my personal opinion. I do think Amaya has a little bit of a fiery personality herself, though, and I think over the course of this episode, I'm not saying I was on Ace's side per se, but I do feel like someone like Amaya can be a bit frustrating to deal with in general. I think all of the yelling, the interrupting, it's a lot, and we continue to see that pattern over the course of this episode. So Amaya and Hannah, they also have a little conversation. Amaya is super duper confused about everything, but I don't think Jeremiah has ever chatted with any of the girls by himself, which is insane on Love Island. So they start to talk about Huda and the fact that she has a kid. For Jeremiah, he says logically, he never really thought that he would date a girl with a kid. For him, he wanted to have their first kid together. He wanted to be the first kid for both of the people in the relationship, which I respect. And many people do have that sort of viewpoint that they want their first kid to be their partner's first kid as well, their first kid to be their first kid shared together. But he says that he still liked Huda when she said it. So for Alondria, she's like, okay, you still like her, but you can tell Alondria is trying to push. And I like this because somebody, and again, claps for Alondria because she is the voice of reason in this villa, in my opinion. She's kind of trying to push like, okay, cool, you still like her, but let's be for real, without actually saying the words. So Jeremiah does let her know that he did say that for him, though, he did let Huda know and make it make sense that until they get out of the villa, he's not going to 100% be sure whether or not he really likes her or not, right? When it comes to the kid, until he meets the kid. And I'm gonna be honest, just the way he kept saying the kid to me let me know that Jeremiah is not feeling this. As I've said last episode, I definitely feel like Jeremiah has given us little nuggets. He'll say little things where you could definitely tell in Jeremiah's head, he's a little more rooted in reality, regardless of what he's trying to do in the game. So even just saying the kid instead of her daughter, it just, to me, again, maybe it's a little thing I'm picking up, but it definitely seems like there's a disconnect there. So he does ask her, Alondria, if she's ever dated someone with a kid before. Alondria says she almost did, but the reason why she didn't end up going with it was because that person would have a baby mama, and the baby mama drama is always sort of a sticky and a messy situation. That person always has access to your person, and it is a strong possibility that both sides may may not agree on having you involved in the co-parenting. So for her, she just felt like that was not a situation that she wanted to be in. And again, I find that to be very respectable. I think when you both maybe have kids, it is different, and I think things look different. But oftentimes, if you are a single person dating someone with a kid, there is a lot of things to think about. And while of course the relationship could work, I think it's also the fact that they are very young, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're mature enough to all handle this in a harmonious way. And we know that the baby daddy is involved because his mouth has been loud on social media, posting his little pictures and stories. So I am again glad that Olandria put this conversation out there. Maybe some people feel like it's not her place or feel like it's messy to be putting things in Jeremiah's head, but I am so glad over the course of this episode we finally see, one, Jeremiah having conversations with people that are not Huda, and two, the fact that people are being real. Because again, I think this situation sort of transcends Love Island, where we are literally talking about a young child being involved. There has to be some voice of reason in all of this, and I'm really glad that he was able to have this conversation with Olandria. So Shelly and Austin, they have a conversation, and Austin is getting fed up. As we know, Austin was up on that balcony. He was really not feeling this triangle that he's in. So he basically asked Shelly, where is your head at? What are you feeling? He's like, no pressure or anything, but I was kind of hoping that you could potentially make a decision, because seeing you between me and seeing you between Ace, it is a little bit too much for me, and I don't want to be stuck in this triangle no more. And I'm like, again, did Austin develop real feelings, or is he a good actor? I'm really not sure. I'm gonna be honest, I am not sure. That's not to say that I all of a sudden think that we got Austin all wrong and he's not a terrible guy, but I just feel like maybe he really did develop feelings for Shelly. I don't know. Now, Shelly says that she would not express that she liked him if it was not true. So for her, although she is shocked that Ace didn't pick her, she still does want to experience this connection and see what's going on. Overall, they do decide that, again, they want to keep exploring each other, and we kind of leave off in the same spot that we always leave off with the two of them, with both of them saying that they're excited, they like the connection, they're slowly getting closer, but again, it's still giving placeholder to me. I don't know, at least for Shelly. It's still giving placeholder to me. Austin does say in the confessional that he doesn't feel like he's necessarily falling for Shelly, but he feels like he's getting vulnerable with her, which is even deeper than most of the women that he's hooked up with in the past. There's a lot more weight to it. So we're gonna have to see about that. So Huda and Jeremiah. Huda is being paranoid and ridiculous. She's like, I don't know. I feel like when you said you weren't talking to anyone in the bar, I just want to clarify, are you really not talking to anybody? Are we talking to other people? What is going on? Jeremiah says, as of right now, I'm not planning to talk to anyone. She's like, as of right now? He's like, I don't know. Like, I'm not talking to anyone. I'm all on you. I'm clearly all on you. She's like, I don't know, but you said as of right now. He's like, look, I don't want to lie, basically, and tell you that there could never be another person that turns my head. But as of this present moment, I am on you. Huda's like, oh, so wait, in the future, there might be somebody else? Oh my God, should I talk to somebody else? He's like, where the fuck do you get that? He's like, I'm gonna walk away. She's like, you know what? I feel like you've been doing good. Like, you're doing good. And so I just don't understand what's going on right now. He starts to walk away and he's like, I'm not gonna do this. I literally cannot do the gaslighting and whatever it is that you got going on here. She's like, maybe try to pursue me then. He's like, I do. I really do. For Huda, she says in the confessional that she does not want to get played by Jeremiah. So she's really, really worried when she hears this commentary that possibly in the future he might want to talk to someone or whatever the case is. Again, I think this is absolutely unhinged. And again, I'm sorry. I think Jeremiah is coming down to earth. I think in the beginning, it was giving that Jeremiah was going to be the one that was going to be a little more rabid. But I definitely think the news of the kid has definitely put sort of a stop in Jeremiah's head, where of course I think he likes Huda, is attracted to her, anything of that nature. But I do think Jeremiah is clearly laying the stepping stones to let Huda know, hey, there may be somebody else that I want to talk to. I think a little bit of the possessiveness still came out when she was like, well, should I talk to someone else? And I do think that Huda was doing a lot. Again, I think with Huda, it's giving 24. I think she's very childish. I think she says petty stuff to antagonize him. But again, Also, really pay attention to that language that Huda uses, like, oh, well, you were doing good, you're doing good. It's very, very weird. And I think we're going to see Jeremiah definitely have sort of a response to that language, but it's very much a mirror of the situation that happened with Huda and Alondria last week, where she's like, oh my God, girl, all you deserve is love. All you deserve is this. And I said it and I'll say it again. I think Huda is one of these people that it comes off very patronizing, her sort of support for you. And I think that now for Jeremiah, he's also in a similar spot with it. And I think he's also just starting to realize this girl is a little kooky. So it is bedtime. Taylor is sort of recapping the kiss that he had with Alondria, and he says the physical is still not quite there yet. So again, for me, Taylor, it's like, just say that it's not there for you. That's it. I feel like if you got to do all this pushing, all this prodding, all this poking, all this forcing, sure, there are slow burns in the world, but if you're not feeling it for her, you're not feeling it for her. And that's just reality. I don't think that he is feeling Alondria. I don't think it's there. Now, Ace is letting Nick know that he wants to plan a date tomorrow morning. So he wants Nick's help. He wants to make breakfast. He wants to plan a yoga class. And he doesn't say who it's for, but it's obviously clear that he is talking about Shelly. So Ace does go to give Shelly a hug goodnight and then get into the bed with Amaya. And Amaya's like, so you're not going to hug me goodnight? But I just want to understand what's going on with you and Ace, because I opened up to you. You were one of the people I cried to last night about the way that Ace was treating me. But now I see last night before bed, he gave you a hug. It clearly seems like you guys have a lot going on. Shelly starts to say, well, my connection is Austin. I'm genuinely interested in him. So, I mean, for me, I'm not going to sit here and be messy and try to be with Ace. Amaya cuts her off and says, okay, well, no offense, but I think it's messy as fuck that this is what's happening, okay? I feel like you're not being upfront with me. She starts word salading. She essentially says that she feels like Shelly is not being directly upfront, and she also doesn't really understand why she is the only one that has boundaries from Ace. And I get that. That part I understood. The rest of what Amaya was doing, to me, it was a lot. And again, I'm sorry, Amaya cuts people off. She does not let them talk. And I think that Amaya is one of those people where even if she's presenting a fair point, it's very, very clear that her delivery turns people off. Because I do get it, and I do agree, and I did point it out last episode that Ace talking about being a slow burner, he doesn't touch people, he doesn't cuddle, when in his speech he said he couldn't wait to cuddle, things like that. And then we've also seen him cuddle Shelly, kiss Shelly, all of these different things. It's just a lie. It doesn't make sense. But as Shelly says in the confessional, I think that Amaya has a lot of displaced anger for me. I don't really understand why I'm catching the smoke when at the end of the day, I have a connection with Austin. I have not been all over Ace. I do think that is true. I don't think we've seen Shelly be heavily pursuing Ace, running after him. All of the pursuing has definitely been on Ace's end. So I do agree that Amaya has a lot of displaced anger for the wrong person. I think Amaya feels very upset and I think she feels hurt, and I completely get that point of view. But I think that the crash out is directed towards the wrong people. So Shelly and Amaya, I don't really know that they get to a consensus in this conversation, but from downstairs, Ace can hear everything that's going on. He can hear the screaming. He can hear the yelling. It's a lot. So Alondria walks out of the dressing room, and out there is Ace waiting for Shelly to come down to do the yoga class. Ace is, of course, trying to get the tea, and Alondria says, look, I'm not going to tell anybody's business. There was a little bit of something between your current match and Shelly, but all I'm going to advise you to do is be fully transparent with everyone involved, because it looks like certain people are moving very sneakily. At this point, Ace is like, oh damn, should I cancel breakfast and yoga then? But anyway, Taylor and Nick, they have a conversation as well. Taylor does talk about how Alondria did confirm during the conversation that she is a slow burn, that for him, that makes a lot more sense to him. He says that the kiss that they had is the first kiss he's had with anyone in the villa, or I don't know if he meant his first kiss ever. He just said his first kiss, or maybe he meant their first kiss, he and Alondria. So if he keeps doing this, then she won't be blindsided. And I was like, is blindsided the word you mean to use? Because I'm like, blindsided with what? Blindsided about your feelings? I don't know. Again, I feel like Taylor, when he talks, it doesn't make a lot of sense because the underlying thing is that he's just not feeling her in that way. But that's just me. Shelly and Austin also have a brief talk after the whole thing with Amaya, and she's basically explaining everything that happened with the fight with Amaya, how Ace was planning the breakfast, and how all of this mess is going on. Austin, he's rubbing his little hands, and again, whether he's acting or serious, he at least admits in the confessional that he feels like this fighting between Shelly and Ace is something that works in his favor. If it looks like there's a rift there or there's some things she's unsure of, that only means that she gets closer to him. For Shelly, she feels like Ace needs to figure this out because all of this is not it. And I'm like, it is definitely not it. It is definitely not it. But one thing I can say is that Ace is moving mad. Period. Despite whoever you think he's attracted to. And as I said, I don't know, a lot of y'all in my comments was trying to tell me you feel like this indicates that Ace is attracted to Shelly and Shelly's his number one. I'm sorry. Watching this did not make me think that Shelly is Ace's number one, but whatever. Ace is moving mad, and I think Amaya is very upset, but she needs to be careful. Don't be like Huda and start blaming the women for the man that's doing some crazy stuff. Let's just put it that way, okay? So when Amaya and Ace, they have the conversation. Ace from the top is like, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to say what I want to say. You're going to say what you're going to say. And no one's going to interrupt each other. So they begin. Amaya begins by saying, look, I'm going to be honest. I feel like I was completely blindsided by the fact that you have this connection with Shelly. I did not understand that I was the only one that was going to have these boundaries that you're implementing. You never really made it clear who you wanted to, that you were exploring her, and I never really knew that it was her. So for me, I feel completely blindsided based off of what you said in the ceremony and then what you're doing now. Ace tries to say, I told you that I had a connection with her. Amaya cuts him off. She starts getting very heated. And again, I do believe that a lot of what Amaya says is right. I think the delivery does not bode well for people actually listening to her, but I do think a lot of what she's saying is correct. And again, I'm sorry, but I do think the way that Ace is acting would drive a lot of people to a crash out. And I would even venture to say Ace likes this. I think Ace likes this toxic nonsense. He likes getting people riled up. So she cuts him off and says, look, you never said that it was a connection with Shelly. You made a broad statement that you were open to other connections. You never said it was Shelly. Ace insists that he said that he was going to be with Shelly, or that, let me not say going to be with Shelly, that he was going to explore Shelly. But overall, they do go back and forth with fighting. Yes, no, you did it. Yes, I did. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Ace says, look, I'm going to be honest. You're putting your hands in my face. You're raising your voice, and I don't hear anything, and I don't care, and I don't want to talk about it. So I'm going to make it very clear right now. I am not interested in exploring you any further. Amaya says, neither am I. Good riddance. Have fun with Shelly. And they end it there. And you know what? That, to me, has to be the fastest turnaround I have seen in Love Island history. Not even an hour later, and Ace was completely disgusted, turned off, and now the two of them, literally day 2 of their couple, are completely done, and it's purely platonic. I still don't get the end game. I still don't get the end game, and I'm sorry, I'm still not getting Ace is in love with Shelly. It's giving, I blew up my connection with Amaya. I don't like girls that push back on me. So now I'm going to go back to Shelly because at least Shelly is enamored by me. One pattern I've seen with Ace is that Ace doesn't like people that push back on him. We're going to even see later, he gets very turned off and annoyed at Huda during the game for choosing his name, for saying something about him. It's very clear that Ace likes people that are obsessed with him. And as of right now, Shelly fits that bill. Watch a bombshell come in Thursday, and we are getting new bombshells. I want to see if there's a girl that's really interested in Ace, if his pick's gonna be Shelly or the girl. Because I'm still not buying it. I don't know. Y'all can tell me in the comments I'm the Lulu and whatever. I'm still not buying it. I don't know where you guys see that Ace is really in love with Shelly and that's his true number one. It's given I'm playing 8D chess to me. Charlie and Austin, and I'm only bringing up this scene because this is the only scene of Charlie we really get today. He feels Austin fills in Charlie about the drama going on with Shelly. For him, he says, look, I need to turn up the heat with Shelly, Austin, by doing activities with her. I'm going to ask her to do something. And then later in the episode, we do see that he asks her to meditate and they have a little yoga sesh. So Jeremiah and Nick have a conversation, and honestly, I found it crazy that Jeremiah was actually talking to a guy. But he's basically admitting that he feels like he and Huda have a lot of good, but today was the first day that he felt like he couldn't really do it. He's saying that these comments that Huda will make, you did good, or good job, or just these sort of pat on the back comments really make him feel like a child. And it is really a turnoff for him. He says further in the confessional that sometimes he feels like Huda treats him like her kid. And to him, he's just not necessarily feeling that. Now, he claims to Nick, besides the comments, everything is good. But again, Jeremiah, you're not fooling me. I can definitely see the blocks building to Jeremiah potentially stepping over and pulling, we could have a surprise recoupling where he picks a bombshell. I'm just seeing it building up slowly and slowly and slowly. It's building up. Trust me. So Ace and Alondria talk after the breakup with Amaya, essentially. And he's basically like, yo, we're two different people. It's time to move on. But what I'm really focused on is Shelly. Alondria does ask, are you going to run back the yoga day? He says he will, but he's probably going to switch it up this time because as we see across the villa, Shelly and Austin are doing yoga. Whatever he does, though, he says he wants to pull Shelly for a chat to let her know that he really does care about her. So Shelly and Austin, they're doing yoga. There's not much of note here, but again, I don't know. I guess Austin, he's really in. I'm just shocked. I gotta be honest. I'm shocked that Austin is really in. He says he learned this yoga from the shamans and they're doing their little yoga session. And who other than Ace has to come over and snatch up Shelly and they go have their chat. So for Ace, he's feeling very disappointed towards Shelly that with himself, let's say, that he broke up the momentum that he and Shelly had. He really does regret choosing Amaya because Shelly is the full package. At this point, he wants to focus his full attention on her. And again, I'm sorry, I don't understand how some people are buying this. I'm going to reserve as much judgment as I can, okay? But I just don't understand. How do we have Ace in the confessional saying that Shelly is the full package, she is everything? You had an open opportunity to choose her during the recoupling. Was she not the full package 2 days ago? To me, I just do not get it whatsoever. For Shelly, she says, look, I still have a connection with Austin. It is something I'm exploring. So I'm not going to lie. Having this going on with the two of you guys, it does kind of make my head spin. It does kind of make things feel all over the place. Now, for him, he feels like they have the best communication in the villa with being honest with each other. And I'm like, okay. And he apologizes for hurting her. At the end of the day, Shelly says, look, I want to get to know the real Ace. I want to get to know the real you, right? Now, I feel like you have this wall up and I feel like you always try to just be cool and whatever. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it. And I think for Shelly, the reason why she continues on with this, I'm gonna keep saying fake connection with Austin is because there's a part of Shelly that also sees something disingenuous. I ain't gonna hold you. I feel like the only semi-real connection in this house right now is Hannah and Charlie. Every other connection in this house, there is nothing right now. I'm sorry, it's just not giving. It's giving that every single person is holding out, waiting for a bombshell that is really going to sweep them off their feet. And I just think that's crazy. And don't tell me Huda and Jeremiah, because no, just no. Austin does vent a little bit to Alondria about everything. He did not think the love triangle was still going on, so he is really wondering if this could blossom into something strong. Alondria lets him know, look, apply pressure. Women really like that. Keep putting that effort in because Shelly really does like you. And then they give this hug where Austin is like laying on Alondria's head and she's like rubbing his hair. And I was like, oh, it's just something about seeing this man all hugged up on the black girls. I just can't. I cannot. But it is nighttime. Let's jump into it. Maya is talking to Hannah and she's saying, you know what? When things are too peaceful between me and a man, I want to argue. Show me that toxic love. And I'm like, ooh. Yeah, like I said, Amaya, look, Ace was a menace, but Amaya, girl, I don't know that you're that much better. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Amaya, for me, is a lot. And I've been saying that. But Austin gets a text and they learn they are playing this game, Pucker or Pie, where they have to answer a question. And I'm like, ding, 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 ding. Y'all want to come at me, but like every single person in the villa is also starting to sniff out that there is something nefarious about Ace. So they kiss and he done make out with her. He is leaning her back. He is doing an absolute lot. Alondria discovers Alondria covers Nick's eyes and Nick says he did not want to see that. He did not want to see that at all. So he is glad that Alondria covered his eyes. So Jeremiah feels that Huda is the most high maintenance. His explanation is that she takes forever to get ready. And if you bring her 2 plates of food, she's still going to pick out something wrong with everything. I thought Huda was going to get triggered and start crying. I'm not going to lie to you, but they do kiss. Of course, the 2 lovebirds somehow land on kiss. Now, Alondria feels that Jeremiah is the most likely to fake a relationship to get to the finals. And I'm like, ooh, tell him. He gives her a little smooch. Of course, no makeout sesh, no nothing. Now, Amaya feels that Nick is the most boring. The 2 of them make out. Nick is like, you know what? She feels I'm the most boring, so I gotta show her that I'm not. And you know what, Nick? As much as Nick is a menace, Nick is kind of funny. I'm not gonna hold you. Nick is a little bit funny. Charlie says that Amira is the most flirtatious. And we all like, who is Amira? Pied. Huda feels that Ace is secretly waiting for someone better to walk in. No. And I was like, ooh, again, it's not just me that sees it. It's the whole villa that sees this joint. Ace feels that Huda is always taking little shots and always taking little dabs and always trying to dig at something. So of course, Ace is now feeling some type of way. And let's be for real, Ace is very bitter at Jeremiah and Huda for whatever reason. I do think this game solidified that Ace, for right now at least, is probably not really interested to me anymore in pursuing Huda, because I just think that Ace doesn't really like a guy that that pushes back on him. I think Ace likes girls that are obsessed with him and think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So I do think right now with Huda, he's feeling the same way about Huda that he feels about Amira. Just kidding. Amaya. So Nick feels Austin gives BDE, and they do have a little kiss on the cheek. I thought that was funny. Taylor feels that Amaya is trying too hard, and she's like, what? What does trying too hard mean? They kiss, they get in there. That kiss was steamy. I was like, Taylor, I know you don't like you some Alondria, so you looking for anything you could get. But of course, Amaya is feeling very offended, like, what does trying too hard mean? What do you mean by that? Trying too hard? Okay. So Sierra feels that Shelly gives red flag vibes, but she says the only reason why she gave that answer is because there's no one that she wants to kiss more right now than Shelly. And woo boy, they have a steamy makeout session. I was like, okay, now I see y'all too. I see y'all. So Ace feels that Shelly has the nicest smile. Of course, he chose her, and they have their little kiss. And Shelly says for her, this kiss did not make the decision process between Austin and Ace easier. It in fact just made things harder. Last to go, Austin feels Hannah is the most likely to cheat outside the villa. And I was like, why you pick Hannah? But they pie, and then they kiss, and then they hump. And I was like, whoo boy. But post-game, because you know, nothing riles these people up more than these games. So the guys have a chat post-game. Taylor claims he took one for the team. He took one for Ace by picking Amaya for the challenge. Ace asks, how'd you feel about the kiss? He's like, oh, I didn't care about that at all. Now they get onto a conversation about Huda.
Thinking like, what? Who's fake?
She was...
For Ace, he's feeling like Huda is always trying to stir something up, always trying to poke and prod at him. But Ace and Nick both feel that Huda didn't actually pick her real answer of who she thinks is the fakest. They then jump on to how they feel like Huda has been pretty fraudulent about the way that she's been going about things. She's been sort of putting on a facade, she's putting on a mask, and she's heavily playing the game. And they feel like sometimes Huda really, really likes Jeremiah, but other times it's very clear that she's just trying to play it safe. And I was like, hey, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. You know, with Huda, it is very hard to read because to me, it's like, is Huda this Delulu? Or does Huda want to win, be a Love Island couple that comes out? You know, Huda watched her season 6. So you know Huda wants to come out in a loving couple with the brand deals, with the show spinoff afterwards. You just know that Huda wants that. And you know what? I look, again, Ace is an instigator, but the problem is that Ace will say things that are kind of sort of spot on. And that's why I got to give him a little bit of credit sometimes, because I do think that Ace and Nick are onto something. And I think once again, look, I think at the minimal least, just as everybody else talks about their couples in the house, why is Jeremiah immune to hearing from any of the guys what people think or the red flags that they see? Anyway, so of course Amaya's with the girls rapping and raving about how she doesn't understand what it means that she was trying too hard, but she understands why Taylor would pick that answer because he's besties with Ace. So she plans to sort of pull Taylor aside and get some clarification. For Huda, she said she does feel bad for Ace. She wasn't trying to start anything. She didn't mean to get at him. But I think, who was it that chimed in? Sierra feels like anyone in this villa would have given that same answer about Ace. So Ace and Huda, they do have a bit of a conversation. She is begging him to talk to her. She said that she has never seen him act like this before. She doesn't understand what's going on. Jeremiah's like, I'm fine. And again, Huda, it's like, when somebody wants some space, give them space. I don't understand people who act like this. Maybe it's because in real life, I'm the kind of person where, look, if I get the inclination you're not feeling me, I'm gonna just leave you alone. Maybe a little too much. Okay, maybe it's a slightly need to work on trait, but I'm the kind of person where if I get a vibe, you're not feeling me in the moment or whatever the case may be, I'm gonna just fall back and let you take your space. So she keeps pressing him. He's saying, oh, it's nothing. He finally admits that the guys feel that sometimes she's really into him, but sometimes she's just playing it safe. As you can imagine, Huda starts to spiral. She's like, so your friends told you that? Your friends said that about me? And that has you acting this way? I don't understand why you wouldn't come to me and talk to me about it. Why wouldn't you communicate about it? She always says, your friends. It's so weird the way that Huda talks about people. She gets really, really heated. She's like, your fucking friends told you this? He's like, look, I'm gonna be honest. This is the reason why I didn't confide in you, because you're already going off. Huda's like, I could tell that something was wrong. When I sat next to you, you didn't hug me the way that you usually do. So it was obvious that something was wrong with you. He's like, I'm not gonna hug you the same way every single time. Huda continues to spiral and go off and just talk about how she cannot believe that Jeremiah wouldn't have told her this and how it's supposed to be them as a unified front. And Jeremiah simply says, look, I'm not doing the drama with you. And then we get the previews rolling. And we get no Huda and Jeremiah footage in this preview. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what happens. But what we do find out is that there are 2 new bombshells coming on Thursday night. And I hope it is one guy and one girl. I am really, really hoping for a guy and a girl because I need a little bit of a shakeup in this villa. But if you made it to this point in the video, that means you liked the video. So I would greatly appreciate if you would consider supporting the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It helps to get the videos out there and it inspires me to keep creating. Thank you guys so much for supporting the videos. And please, please remember to only keep the episode discussion in the chat to episode 8 or backwards, okay? Don't talk about any other episodes. Luckily here, there are no other episodes out, so I don't know why I gave that disclaimer. I forgot there's no episodes on Wednesday anyway, so y'all probably will not put spoilers. So thank you so much. Bye. I will talk to you in the next one.